Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're having a great week so far. I know the weather has been so amazing outside, so I hope you guys have gotten to go outside a little bit and enjoy nature and just, get out of the house, step away from the Netflix, and go enjoy God's nature. I wanted to share a quick little message with you guys and answer one of your questions that you asked me a couple months ago. Why is it so hard to share the gospel with my friends? And I think that's something that we all struggle with, is sharing the gospel with our really close friends, or even if they're not so close, with people our own age. It can be hard sometimes. But anyway, I want to unpack this subject and maybe give you some confidence and an answer to this question. So the main reason, this is my dog Ella, she's trying to be in the video. But I believe that the main reason we struggle with sharing the gospel, it all has to do with spiritual warfare. I believe in spiritual warfare. I believe that the devil is against us sharing the gospel. And it takes place when God is at work. And we can see this all throughout Jesus' ministry. When he drove out so many demons, and there was such an uproar in spiritual warfare because he was at work. God is at work, and the devils resist that. The demons resist that. And you can see in the parable of the sower, if you look at it in Luke chapter 8, if you look at that account of it, it specifically says that the devil comes to undo the work of God. So that is what I believe is ultimately against the spreading of the gospel. But there are specific ways that we can see this, that the devil prevents the spread of the gospel. And a few that I could think of to answer this question is, number one, is we fear rejection. If you read in Psalms 112, 6 through 8, though, there's an antidote for this. Surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. They will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. Their hearts are secure, and they will have no fear. In the end, they will look in triumph on their foes. So we fear rejection. We fear putting ourselves out there. And sometimes when we share the gospel with a friend, they may think that we're crazy. They may say, absolutely not. I don't believe in any of that. And that's their decision. But we have to be faithful to God and what He's called us to do, which is to share the gospel. And we do sometimes have to put ourselves out there and make ourselves vulnerable. And it may be accepted, it may be rejected. But we're doing what God calls us to do. So God does not put fear in our hearts, and we should not worry about what is going to happen. Because the worst that can happen is they say, I'm not really interested in that right now. So can we talk about something else? Or, so what if they think you're crazy? You're staying true to your faith, and that is so important. And think about Jesus. He was rejected by so many people, large crowds. At one point, even his family thought that he was crazy. But look at what he did for us. So don't fear rejection. It's just part of the process. In life, you're going to be rejected eventually. And that's okay. You just have to deal with it, and you have to trust in God to get through it. The struggle is part of your story. My cat. And we are not above our Master Jesus. And so if He experienced rejection, then we can expect to experience rejection and persecution also. Because we're not above it. He wasn't above it. We're not above Him. Number two is lack of confidence, or feeling inadequate, or maybe you think you don't have enough knowledge of the Bible to share the gospel, and that is simply not true. We are all equipped to share the gospel. If you're a believer in Christ, if you are saved, then you are equipped to share the gospel. It's not just up to ministers and preachers. It's up to everybody. If you're a Christian, Jesus calls all of us to share the gospel. So if you feel like you don't have enough knowledge, pray to God about it. Trust in Him, and He will give you the words to speak. He will show you what this person needs to hear, if it's in His will. And you can see this all through Acts with apostles. He gave the words for the apostles to speak. So maybe lastly, number 3, maybe you just don't know how to start a conversation about the gospel or how to bring it up. Because it can be a daunting task to bring up the gospel in just an everyday conversation. And there's a lot of books written on this subject. And so if you're really interested in this and you need a reference, I have a few that you can borrow, or I can refer you to some that are really good and will really help you with this. But number 1 go-to is giving out these bracelets that I gave to you guys. This is a really good way to share the gospel in a tangible way, and you're giving this person something, which is really cool. So I have a lot of these to give out, and I think I challenged you all to at least give out one and then come back and get some more from me. But when you're giving out these bracelets, it says God is bigger. It gives you a way to share the gospel. It gives you a way to tell this person what God's done in your life. It kind of leads into a conversation about God and how He is bigger than our fears, than whatever we're going through. So I would say that is a really great way with these bracelets that I have for you for free that you can use to spread the gospel. But you can also just tell them, at random, you can just say, hey, I'm praying for you today. Something that I can pray for? And most of the time, even non-Christians are going to be like, well, I've been going through this struggle. And you can just kind of sit down and talk to them about that and maybe pray with them. And that's something that's really easy to do too. You can also send them an encouraging Bible verse through a text. And just say, hey, this was on my mind today. I thought I'd share it with you too. It gave me some encouragement. Hope you're having a great day. And that's all it takes, is just one simple text. And you just put the gospel in their mind. You made them think about it. Another way that is a very big way to share the gospel is to listen to your friends' problems. Let them talk to you about their problems. Usually people are looking for someone to talk to about whatever they may be going through. And so listen to them, give them godly advice if they ask for it. And if it's something similar that you've gone through before, then that really helps as well. Look for similar struggles. But also, this can be a way to lead into your testimony about what God's done in your life. And I want to share a verse with you, 1 Peter 3, chapter 3, 15 through 16. And it says, but in your hearts revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect, keeping a clear conscience, so that those who speak maliciously against your good behavior in Christ may be ashamed of their slander. Well, this really shows you what a testimony can do, and it shows you that you need to have a prepared testimony to tell people about what God's done in your life, why you have the hope that you should be having through this time right now especially, and why you have peace in your life. So just sharing that with somebody is a major way that you could lead them to Christ. So, all in all, if you struggle in these areas, don't feel bad, don't feel guilty, because we all have struggles. The struggle is part of your story. Maybe one day you can tell other people like how you overcame this and how God worked through this with you and how you grew spiritually. So share the gospel boldly. I want to encourage you guys to do that. It becomes easier as you get more experience. You just have to say, okay, God, I'm going to go wherever you lead me, and I'm going to listen to you, and He will give you the words to say and the courage at the appropriate time. Alright, so I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I would love to talk with you. And stay tuned for more opportunities for you guys to get together on Zoom. I'm thinking about having a game night, so stay tuned for that for details. And I will see you guys later.